6 seasons and a movie!
With Community's prophecy soon to be completed, I am here to officially rank arguably the greatest sitcom of all time. At number 6, it should come as no surprise, we have the year of the gas leak, aka Season 4. As fans all know, Dan Harmon was not brought back for this season due to a myriad of issues. Unfortunately for us, it quickly became clear how much of Community's success was linked to him. Season 4 has this feeling hovering over it that something was just off. Characters don't act like themselves, like Changnesia? Really? The soul of the show just feels completely absent, and so many attempts at capturing the past magic of the show come across as lazy and uninspired. So much so that once Dan does return, he makes many references and jokes about there being a literal gas leak in the show's canon to explain everything and how poor it was overall.
Cool.
Oh.
Cool. I farted during the fourth one. It's an inside joke.
Now, I'm not saying there aren't moments to love here, with highlights such as Danny Pudi and Donald Glover's impressions of each other in Basic Human Anatomy, the Heroic Origins episode, the introduction of Brie Larson's Rachel, and as always, their Halloween episode. However, this season also includes 5 of the worst 10 episodes in the show's collection, along with Troy and Britta as a couple. At number 5, we have Season 6. This is, of course, the season that aired on Yahoo's short-lived streaming service, and God bless it for that. Can you imagine if Season 5's finale was the last we saw of the Greendale 7?
Exactly what they want us to think.
Oh my god!
Season 6 is a mixed bag that has its fair share of problems, such as the worst episode in the show's history in Laws of Robotics and Party Rights, the poor attempts to be too clever with the entire RV bottle episode, or even Grifting 101. This season doesn't have as much energy as what came before it due to the loss of Pierce, Shirley, Hickey, Duncan, and Troy for an entire season, pretty much. Understandably, they were due for a decline, but Harmon and company still produced an amazing finish. In particular, the penultimate episode and the finale itself are great ways to end the show in both emotional and hilarious ways. Without this season, we wouldn't have the entire Chain Karate Kid storyline, the scene where everyone's emails are hacked, and of course, one last game of paintball.
What the hell? They killed me!
Whoa.
At number 4, we have Season 6's predecessor, and the return of Dan Harmon to the creative team in Season 5. Immediately, the show feels fun again and fixes the wrong of the previous volume. This is probably the last great season of the show, which is an impressive feat given of how they were tasked with handling both Pierce and Troy's exit from the show in the first half and the aftermath of those events. Their importance to the show cannot be understated. Therefore, the showrunners knew they had to end their arcs with a bang. Luckily, the 1-2 punch of cooperative polygraphy and geothermal escapism is the best back-to-back episode run the show has to offer. The entire sperm gag is peak Community to the point where they did a table read in 2020, and it's still awesome.
Maybe it's because everyone else got one, and because it's an old man's semen, but I'm kind of disappointed.
I also really enjoy the entire Meow Meow Beans satire on social media, the Dungeons & Dragons 2, and the homages to movies like Zodiac and Seven in the Ass Crack Bandit episode. On the other hand, as mentioned earlier, the 2-part finale leaves some to be desired, and the show does struggle out the gate post-Troy with its consistency. At number 3, I have the premiere season of the show. Harmon originally intended for this to be a classic network sitcom, but once he got comfortable, he started writing more genre-bending riffs that got zanier and zanier. You can feel this change start to happen in Contemporary American Poultry's Goodfellas tribute. This is where they were able to tie in all the emotional beats, the character building, and some of the most clever and respectful nods to the source material that they based them off of. They doubled down on this with the OG Modern Warfare paintball episode full of references to classic action movies and apocalyptic films like 28 Days Later. Before those greats could occur, we had the beginning of the show's run where they were still figuring out who these characters were and what the show was trying to be. Troy and Britta in particular began as a dumb football jock and an intelligent, passionate moral compass, respectively. Eventually, the show would find its footing about 6 or 7 episodes in, and the rest is history. You could either go with the consistently good to great Season 2, or the sometimes awesome, sometimes over-the-top Season 3. Here, I'm personally putting number 3 in the second slot. It holds Community's lone Emmy win in the iconic Remedial Chaos Theory episode. The writing in this season is so well crafted, and that's the best example of how much I can fit in with just 22 minutes. Arguably better, and my personal favorite, is Pillows and Blankets. The episode is filmed in classic Ken Burns documentary style and makes for one of the most comfortable and rewatchable efforts the show has to offer.
You're gonna die, you little bastards!
He is part man, part pillow. All carnage. Pierce Hawthorne has transformed himself into an unstoppably plush juggernaut.
Guys, just retreat. Go.
There's also the very fun digital estate planning episode that was so popular a game was created online mirroring the show's creation. Then there's the silly Law and Order spoof, the show's haunting second clip episode, and the Luis Guzman starring documentary filmmaking Redux that are all fantastic.
Y'all gotta help this dude. I mean, aren't you his friend?
I'm more of a fly on the wall.
The show does have a few poor episodes, keeping it from the upper echelon, but the quality bar is just so high, so I can't really fault it too much. Last but not least, at number 1, we have Season 2. The true epitome of taking what makes the original great and amplifying it to make a great sequel is on full display here. You'd be hard-pressed to find much not to love here. A borderline perfect season of television at its core. I could go on about which seasons I adore the most, but I think it would be easier to state how everything here has higher stakes, funnier moments, more heart than anything else the show has to offer, and a perfect blend of classic Community and outside-the-box thinking. Let me know in the comments what your rankings are. Thank you very much.